I'm the most investigated man in Congress. There's not a single human being who has publicly accused me of any wrongdoing of any kind. And like, at what point after these things have been said about me for years and years, and not a single person has even accused me of wrongdoing, does this sort of become a strange urban legend? My concerns with Kevin McCarthy were around his truthfulness, which, by the way, he certainly didn't advance any veracity in those comments.
I don't want to focus on this too much, but I think it has to be pointed out that every time he does an interview, he looks more and more like a PlayStation 2 character.
Yes.
Like that looks like a deep fake to me.
Yeah.
And I know that it's not. I know that that is his human body on TV, but there's something not quite right there. We're just gonna move on with it.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you.
Points out with very carefully chosen language that nobody has publicly accused me of any wrongdoing. And I think there's a lot of reasons that he might have said that right there. No human being has publicly accused me of any wrongdoing. It seems like you talk to all your lawyers to figure out exactly what you could say that would technically be true, but would be a distraction from what's actually happened, because of course Matt Gaetz has been accused of wrongdoing. By the way, even with his carefully crafted language, he's wrong. Kevin McCarthy has accused him of wrongdoing. Some people speculate that maybe he's trying to say human being because he doesn't truly see humans or females as humans. It could potentially be that. He also seems to be hiding behind the publicly. Like, if you're accused of human trafficking in like a court setting or a deposition, that's not supposed to count. They have to do it like screaming in the middle of like a busy boulevard or something. I don't know. And again, it's not to say that any of this is necessarily true, that the allegations are necessarily true about him, but he has certainly been accused of wrongdoing. And that defense, I just think, rings really hollow. And to what I said about Kevin McCarthy, I want to go to a little bit of him doing a little bit of public accusations.
And I'll give you the truth why I'm not speaker. It's because one person, a member of Congress, wanted me to stop an ethics complaint because he slept with a 17-year-old.
Now again, Kevin McCarthy could be wrong there. Kevin McCarthy could also be knowingly lying there. He's a bad guy. It's entirely conceivable that that is the case. But that is, without naming Matt Gaetz specifically, so maybe that lets him weasel out, that is a public accusation of wrongdoing. Not necessarily to the substance of the allegations about the sleeping with the 17-year-old, but he has been very steadfast in saying that Matt Gaetz has tried to shut down this ethics investigation. And look, I get that nobody likes to be investigated or whatever, but stopping an ethics process from going forward certainly doesn't look good, Trey, I don't think. What do you make of this?
No, yeah, speaking of not looking good, I'm glad you said something about the way he looked. Every time, I didn't know if it was just me or what, or just my screen or something, but yeah, every time I see him, he looks wilder and wilder. He's got a real like Max Headroom thing going on.
Yeah,
you know, that guy. His face, his real, presumably real face, kind of looks like that Max Headroom mask or something. He's a wild looking dude. But yeah, I don't know. This is kind of, I don't know. Maybe Matt Gaetz should call up Drake and they should compare notes or something. You know what I mean? Because like I don't know the best way to respond to these types of things. Like you said, it's like pushing back against an ethics investigation is a bad look, but it's like, what do? You get accused of being a pedophile and you say, I'm not a pedophile. And everybody's like, that's just what a pedophile would say, which is how I feel too. And it's like, so I don't know, maybe him and Drake need to collaborate on a track or something like that. Or, work together, try to hash this out. Because I don't know. But yeah, I've never been publicly accused of wrongdoing. It's like, I've publicly accused him of wrongdoing. I feel like half the internet has publicly accused him of wrongdoing. We've seen clips. We just watched one of people publicly accusing him of wrongdoing. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Again, but what I would potentially say is there's nothing to any of this. They can do this ethics investigation from now until the end of the time, the heat death of the universe. I don't care because they're never going to find anything. Like that might be one way to go about it, but
would you say that if they are going to find stuff? I guess I'm just kind of
that would be tougher.
I'm just kind of assuming that both of them have actual skeletons in their closet, and in that case, it's like I don't know how you play it publicly because but
tough.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's fine. But yeah, sure, an innocent person, that's the play. But
that's what you would do.
I don't think that's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't mean that the allegations are true. I mean, there's been like the Venmo stuff has never been properly explained as to if it's not about that, what is it about? I've never seen an explanation of that. And I will say, I now want an explanation as to why it is that in that interview, it looks like Matt Gaetz is wearing a suit of Matt Gaetz, and he's looking out from under the suit. That's what it looks like. I don't know what that is. I apologize. Right. If this is inappropriate of me, I apologize. I'm just calling it like I see it. I also just want to mention this one thing. This is, again, I guess, a fairly public allegation of inappropriate behavior, not a crime. But former Trump aide Cassidy Hutchinson claims that Gaetz once grazed her chin with his thumb and asked, "Has anyone ever told you you're a national treasure?" Oh. In another instance, she says Gaetz appeared at her cabin door one night at the Camp David presidential retreat and repeatedly asked her to escort him back to her cabin, even though it's, quote, impossible to get lost because, quote, all the cabins are clearly marked in a circle drive. Well, yes, I don't think he actually needed assistance getting home. I think he just wanted someone to be with him when he got home. And that was in a book that was published. It's a public accusation of some inappropriate behavior. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.